Hey Tammy, I was just curious if you already had dinner for the night.
Oh, hi, Clark. Yeah, I've already eaten. I'm actually just about to hop in the shower now. What are you up to?
I was actually just sitting down for dinner right now.
Oh, nice. I really wish that we could have eaten at the same time. What are you going to be having for dinner?
I just picked up some lunchbox from a grocery store. It's nothing fancy.
What? But you're away on a business trip. You should at least be trying to go out and eat the foods over there. And what about the clients you went there to meet? Are they not taking you out to eat?
Yes, they're taking care of me. We went out to a steak place for lunch, so I'm quite full today.
Oh, I see. I guess I just would have assumed that they were whining and dining you every night.
I wish. Even though I come out all the way out here every month, I've only been taken out a couple times to be honest. But I'm just glad that they always pick out good places to take me to when they do.
Well, I guess that is a silver lining. By the way, how is the weather there? Is it pretty cold already?
Yeah, you can see a bunch of snow that's just fallen on the mountain peaks.
Really? You mean that it's already started snowing there? Then again, I guess it is much colder up there.
Yeah, you have really no idea. I should have brought another jacket with me. You'd think for how many times that I've been out here before that I'd know better.
Well, just try and make sure that you don't catch a cold, okay? Does the hotel that you're in have a humidifier? Make sure you use it.
Yes, it was a humidifier and I'm making sure to use it. Thanks for looking out for me.
By the way, you're going to be coming back tomorrow evening, right?
That is the plan. I get up early tomorrow to start catching flights back there.
Great. Well, then I'll be sure to cook something special for you tomorrow.
Oh, you don't have to go and do that. I'd feel bad for putting you out like that.
But I'm not the one doing all this running around and traveling. You're not putting me out at all. I really want to do something special for you.
Well, I'm happy that you want to make something for me, but I just feel like that's been so long since we got out to eat together.
Well, maybe we can go out for a date this weekend. I really just want to spend more time with you at home.
I get that, but you know that we don't have to only go out on the weekends, right? It's fine to just go out during the week.
It's not that, though. I just want to take it easy. I still can't believe that you and I have been married for 3 years. But in all this time, I've enjoyed just resting at home with you more than anything. Besides, it's starting to get cold down here too, you know.
Okay. We can have dinner at home if it means that much to you, Tammy. By the way, did you change the sheets and put out the comforter? Have you set up the heating in the house?
Oh shoot, I guess I still have a few more things to do. I totally forgot.
What? You mean you forgot to turn on the heat even after I've been telling you about how cold I've been over here?
Sorry, Clark. I guess I just have been bundling myself up with blankets this whole time instead.
Ah, so that's your secret. Well, if you wouldn't mind making the proper arrangements so we don't have to drape ourselves in the bedspread.
Okay. I guess I can make some exceptions just for you. Anyways, I'm going to get in the shower now. It was nice catching up.
Of course. I hope that you have a nice night. I'm gonna start eating then.
Sounds good to me. You have a safe trip home tomorrow, Clark. Hey there, Clark. I was just wondering if you've heard about when your next business trip is going to be.
Yeah, my boss told me that I'm gonna be leaving on the third Monday of the month. And I'll be away for 1 night and 2 days.
Oh, really? That's it? I feel like they're always sending you away for so much longer, no?
Yeah, this time it's extra short. Actually, what happened was we arranged for another guy in the office to start doing these trips. So I'm just tagging along to make the introductions and all.
I see. So then, does that mean that you're not going to be having any more business trips from here on out?
I mean, I'll still probably have a few that I need to do every year, but it certainly won't be every month anymore.
Oh, darn. And here I was thinking that I'd be able to keep getting away with slack on my chores and all that.
Oh, come on. You make it sound like you're not happy to have me back home as much.
Of course I'm happy that you'll be home more, Clark. After all, it isn't good for me to slack off like I've been doing.
Don't tell me that you were going to just sleep in the whole time that I'd be away.
What do you mean? Why do you ask that?
Well, I was just wondering if you usually sleep quite late. My mom came around the other day and said that you didn't answer the door.
Hold on a second. Your mom came over to our place? When was this?
Just one of the times that I've been away, but I just told her that you were probably sleeping late.
Well, why am I just hearing about this now? Why didn't you tell me about this earlier?
Well, I think that my mom was only coming over to drop off some baking that she'd done. I'm sorry though, I didn't realize that my mom dropping off by so suddenly would upset you. but it hasn't happened once. I've been asleep or not home other times. But I just assumed you were out doing the shopping or something.
I see. Well, I guess I just would have thought that you'd mention this to me.
Don't tell me that you were just taking a nap for all those times.
I mean, I might have been, but it's also true that I do go out to go shopping and stuff like that. Just when does your mom come over?
I guess she usually tends to try coming over the evening.
Well, in that case, then I might have actually been sleeping. I don't remember now. And now I'm thinking that it might be good to reach out to your mom and talk to her about this.
I don't think that you need to do that. I told her that if she comes over without warning that you might not always be home. I am really sorry that I haven't mentioned anything about this to you till now, though.
I just had no idea that your mom had been coming over so often. I feel like I should talk to her so I can apologize.
Again, I really don't think you need to do that. It's my mom who was dropping by so suddenly. Maybe she's just hoping to get lucky and have you there one day.
I get that, but even so, I should be more careful in the future. Maybe I've been napping too much lately.
Well, you might get even more sleep during the day with the heat on now.
I personally don't think humans were meant to live with the ability to control their temperature. It just makes it so easy to not want to leave your house at all when the weather is hot or cold. Oh shoot! I just remembered that I still need to go out and get stuff for dinner. I've got to run.
No issue. I hope that you can get all the shopping done easily. Good luck with all that uncontrolled weather out there.
Very funny, Clark. Anyways, have a good rest of your day.
Hey Mom, sorry, are you trying to call right now? Is everything okay? You never call this late.
Clark, can you talk on the phone? Do we have to text?
Yeah, I'm really sorry Mom, but I kind of have my hands full right now. I'm out of town with the coworker who was going to be taking over the business trips. And we're out with the client right now drinking.
But something terrible has happened. It's your house, Clark. There was a fire and it's all gone.
Wait, what? Are you serious? My house? Burned down?
Yes. Oh, I'm so sorry to have to tell you like this. The firemen are there putting it out, but it looks like everything got burnt up. The fire chief was telling me that they've been getting quite busy ever since the weather got so dry.
Well, I have to get back home. This is horrible.
But you're still out on your business trip, right? Are you going to be able to leave to come back for this?
I'll find a way. I'll try and get back home as soon as I can. I mean, Tammy's back there, so I just think we need to be together for this.
There's another thing I wanted to talk to you about.
You mean Tammy? She is still alive, I just know it. Please don't tell me otherwise.
Please, Clark. I need you to calm down and read what I have to say to you, okay?
What are you about to tell me? No, wait. On second thought, I don't think I want to know at all.
Please, Clark. You have to do this. The thing is that I don't know where Tammy is. I'm not sure if she's okay, but I think you're still not going to like what I have to say even if she is.
What do you mean? What else is there worry about except if she's alive or not?
Look, I'm going to tell you what I know, but please, just know how sorry I am that I have to be the one to tell you all of this. But you have a right to know so that you can decide what to do with your life from here on out.
Clark, is everything okay? I just noticed that a bunch of missed calls and messages from you.
Tammy! Finally! Where are you right now? Did you make it out okay?
Well, I was feeling a little bit sick earlier, so I think that I went to bed around 9 tonight.
What do you mean? Where did you go to sleep? You know that our whole house had burnt down, right?
Wait, what? What are you talking about?
That's why I'm asking where you are right now. Please, you have to tell me.
Where am I? Oh, I forgot to tell you that I was going to be spending the night at a friend's house today.
Oh, I see. So then I guess that means you're safe at least, right?
I am safe, but are you serious about our house? Has it really burned down, all of it?
Yes, I'm really serious. I guess the heater wasn't cleaned out properly. Some link caught fire, and that's what started it all.
Oh my. Clark, I am so sorry. I really had no idea.
It's okay now. I'm just glad that you were safe and out of the house at the time.
But what are we going to do? Did anything else happen? Are the neighbors' homes okay? They didn't catch fire too, did they?
I think that the house next to ours is fine. The firefighters got there in time to keep it from spreading.
Clark, I don't know what else to say except that I'm so sorry about this. I never meant for this to happen.
I'm just glad that you're safe, Tammy.
Clark, I don't deserve you.
Well, I just wanted to let you know that I'm on my way home right now. We're going to get divorced first thing in the morning.
Wait, what? A divorce? What are you talking about? Why would you do that? Is this because I accidentally forgot to clean the heater before turning it on?
No, it isn't that. Are you really going to pretend like you have no idea at all what I'm talking about?
I really don't. I'm sorry that I forgot to clean it and that it started the fire. But you have to know that it was all an accident, right?
Let me try this again. You were safe from the fire because you were really sleeping at another house, right? Maybe you can sit on that one and think why I'm leaving you.
Clark, are you there? Please, can't we just talk this out? I know that we can work through this.
There's nothing to talk out, and there's nothing to work through either. Besides, we've already talked this through, and I still haven't changed my mind. So what else is there to say?
I really am sorry. I hope you know how sorry I am.
Oh, just stop with the apologies already. You already said that you were sorry, and it still hasn't changed anything. I know that you were having an affair behind my back each time I would leave for a business trip. Surely you know that divorce was in the stars for us sooner or later.
But this time was really going to be the last time that I met up with this guy. You have to believe me.
But the only reason you were going to stop seeing him was because I wasn't going to be going away, right?
Yeah, that was part of it, but it's not just. I think it had just run its course.
Oh, well, I'm so happy that your affair has run its course and you're ready to come back to me now. But it's too late. You should have never cheated on me to begin with.
But I just never thought that you'd react like this. I didn't think you were going to ask for a divorce. Please, you have to know that I only love you. You have to believe me.
You know, even if we had fallen out of love with each other and we're still married, I still wouldn't want you sleeping around on me. I don't care what you call it. If you were going to cheat on me, then you should have just broken up with me. I have no idea what I would have done if my mom hadn't figured this all out.
So you mean your mom was able to put all this together from the fact that I wasn't at home when she would come over?
It certainly seems like this was her first clue that something was wrong. And then she just happened to see you in town with another man. The final straw was the fact that you had no idea at all that our house had burned down.
Please, can't we just talk this through? I know that if you just talk to me face to face that we can work through this. I mean, even though you knew that I was cheating on you, you still were worried about whether or not I was okay. You have to know how much I regret doing what I did. You've always been so kind to me, and I guess I was never fully able to appreciate that until now. So please, you have to know how sorry I am for all of this.
If you were really sorry and you really wanted to do right by me, then you would just divorce me.
Please don't do this to me. I'm so sorry, Clark. I promise that nothing like this will ever happen again. Please, you have to trust me when I say this. I swear that I'll never ever betray you again, so please forgive me.
We have been married for 3 years and you've been cheating on me for at least 1.5 years. You realize that means that for half our marriage, you've been unfaithful to me, right? Why should I ever trust you again? I would be an idiot to do that.
But, I mean, I was only seeing this guy once a month when you could leave for your business trip. So it's not like I was with him the whole time you were gone.
I can't believe that you're really going to try and split hairs about cheating on me. I tried to suggest that we go out over and over again, and you always shot me down.
But that's because it's always just so easy to rest at home with you.
So that's it then. I'm just a roommate who you like to hang out with.
I can't talk to other people the way that I talk to you either. You know how much you mean to me.
Apparently very little if I'm basically no better than an emotional support animal to you. I trust you, and you stabbed me in the back. Well, I'm not gonna let myself be stupid enough to fall for that twice.
But it won't ever happen again. I promise you that it won't.
And now it won't. You can count on that. After that, not only did Tammy and I divorce, but I also sued her and her other man for the affair they were having. It turns out that this guy was also married, and when his wife found out the truth, they got into a huge fight. Meanwhile, Tammy tried to go back to her parents' house to live with them for a while. But they had heard about her affair and how she had caused our house to be burnt down, so they kicked her out right away. As for me, I was still pretty shell-shocked from the revelation about Tammy cheating on me. I moved back in with my mom and fell into a bit of a depression. Thankfully, I had family and friends there to help me find my old self and get back on my feet. I know that I have more recovery ahead, but I think that I can finally see the light at the end of this dark tunnel.
Kendra, there's something I'd like to discuss with you. Do you have a moment to talk?
Of course, I'm all yours.
Do you have any plans for the weekend?
No, not really. Why do you ask?
I got a call from my father this morning. He said he heard I got engaged and invited the two of us to our annual family reunion. I was wondering if you'd like to accompany me.
Your father? Are you sure that was him? Didn't you say you hadn't seen your parents for almost a decade?
That's right, but it seems like they are finally making an attempt to mend our relationship. Perhaps I can even find out the real reason they sent me away in the first place.
I see what this is. You want me to use my superb detective skills to shed light on the mystery that's been plaguing you for years.
I am only trying to reconcile with them. But it would be nice to get them to confess what actually soured our relationship overnight. Who would ever accuse their own flesh and blood of being a thief with no evidence whatsoever? They must be hiding the real reason they kicked me out of the house.
I feel angry just thinking about it. Are you sure you want to try and reconcile? If I were you, I wouldn't be so forgiving.
It may be hard to forgive them, but I still want to give them a chance to apologize.
Seems like you've made up your mind about going.
I have.
And you'd like me to come with you?
Well, yes. You don't have to, of course. I know it's a long flight, and most people probably wouldn't wish to meet their future in-laws in these circumstances.
They live in England, right?
Right.
And you're sure they won't mind me being there?
My father insisted that you come along. Besides, I know it's selfish of me, but the thought of going there alone is pretty daunting.
Well, if you are sure it's all right, I'd love to go with you. I've always wanted to visit the UK, but my plans always ended up falling through for one reason or another.
Is that so? I probably should have offered to visit at least once.
No, it's okay. I wouldn't have wanted to stir up any unpleasant memories. I'm happy that we get to go on a mini vacation, but the fact that you can finally get closure makes me feel even happier. Let's hope everything goes smoothly.
Oh, I'm not sure it will. My father said they were looking forward to hearing my success story, whatever that means.
Is that so? In what exactly are you supposed to have succeeded?
Ordinarily, I would have assumed something else, but for my parents, money has always been the single most important measure of success.
So they're expecting you to tell them how you make millions of dollars every year as a musician?
He said he always assumed I'd change careers when I settled down. I didn't think much of it when we were talking over the phone, but now I think he might believe I've had a change of heart and decided to abandon my dream career.
Your family's a little strange, isn't it?
A little is an understatement.
And you still want to confront them face to face? I feel like it'd be easier to do it from a safe distance.
You're probably right. I figured if I spoke to them in person, the chances of reconciliation would be much higher. But maybe that's just wishful thinking. Maybe they'll just see me as a failure and turn me away again.
Please don't say that. I'm sure they'll welcome you back into the family even without you having acquired great wealth. If they don't, we can always make some eat the rich signs and protest outside their house.
What if people take it too seriously and decide to join us? I'm not sure I could ever recover from that in their eyes.
Well, if it does happen, we will put down our signs and start yelling, "Somebody? Anybody, please subdue this ravenous mob!"
As long as we do that from a safe distance.
Smart thinking. But are they really so rich that people would consider rallying beside us? I know your family is somehow related to some old Scottish royal family member, but that can't mean much nowadays, right?
You're absolutely right. That's not at all where their wealth comes from. And of course, there's hardly anything royal about us.
Just as I figured. Remember when you accidentally cut your finger making dinner? That's when I realized there was not a tinge of blue in your blood.
I do remember that. You looked horrified when I called you over and ended up staying over for a week monitoring my arms for changes.
Because you were using that knife to cut raw meat. I had to make sure you didn't get blood poisoning.
I thought that was very thoughtful of you. It's good to have people concerned about your well-being, even as a commoner.
Yes, I've been thinking about this, and I've concluded that I shouldn't discriminate against people on the basis of their class.
You know, hearing you say that does make me think. Perhaps you are right. I think I'm having an epiphany.
I knew you'd get there eventually.
Well, thank you for believing in me. I doubt we'll be convincing my parents anytime soon, though.
So you aren't going to tell them you're still a musician? Because if you want to lie to them, I have plenty of vague job titles to choose from.
You do?
Of course! Just listen to these. Businessman, entrepreneur, CEO. They're more than enough to please your family members. Just learn how to deflect the questions coming your way and you'll be set for success.
As much as I love your suggestions, I doubt my family members will take kindly to being lied to.
Well, then make them a reality. Becoming a CEO is a piece of cake. I've been self-appointed as the CEO, CFO, COO, and just about every other executive role, and all I had to do was capitalize on the slime craze of 2018 and ship out a few boxes of slime.
I am in awe of your accomplishments.
Well, thank you. I couldn't have done it without the support of my first and only 4 customers. I owe my success to them.
I can't believe you abandoned such a lucrative venture. What happened? You don't have to say if it's too painful.
It is, but you have the right to know the truth. My 4th customer asked me for a refund. It was such a tedious task, I just had to shut everything down.
Of course, that's a perfectly reasonable reaction.
I knew you'd understand. So what do you think? Would you like to set up a small business?
Honestly, after hearing your story, I don't think I'm cut out for the business world. I'll have to do the right thing and tell them the truth. If they ask. If they don't, I'll just stay silent.
Sounds like a plan to me. So, we're really going?
Looks like it.
Just to make sure, your parents won't be willing to postpone the reunion for, let's say, 2 months, right?
I highly doubt that. Is it an inconvenient time for you?
No, it's just that I've been eager to get an umbrella ever since the pound started falling, but I really don't want to spend extra money on the overseas shipping costs since it's pretty expensive as it is. I figured if I ordered it now, had it delivered to your parents' house, and went to retrieve it in person in 2 months, that could help me save some money.
An umbrella? I don't recall you ever mentioning that. Why do you have to wait 2 months to get it?
Well, that's because it has to be handcrafted. It costs exactly 1,000 pounds before shipping and taxes.
Are you sure you want to spend that much on an umbrella? Also, what umbrella costs $1,200?
The one with a silk canopy and engraving.
I see. Well, since you're so excited about it, I'll graciously help you cover the shipping costs.
Well, that's very generous of you. I mean it.
I have to say, I had no idea you had such expensive tastes.
Well, now you know. You are marrying a decadent wolf in self-restrained sheep's clothing. There's still time to call off the wedding and run.
I'll keep that in mind.
Of course.
You know, now that I think about it, you probably won't have any problems getting along with my parents.
Oh, I'm sure I won't. I studied international relations in Switzerland, remember?
I do. Be honest with me, Kendra. Are you an undercover billionaire pretending to be a struggling actress?
Ouch! If I were a billionaire, I imagine that struggling wouldn't have hurt this much.
I'm sorry. Was that too harsh?
It was, but it's also the truth, so what can you do?
You know, I was being serious earlier. I really think you could win my parents over. I'm sure my father would find you delightful. And if you could find out why they ostracized me over the phone, we wouldn't even have to visit them this weekend.
But I thought you were trying to reconcile with them. You just want to know what happened that day, don't you?
All right, I admit it. It's true, I don't care about the family reunion. I only want to know the reason they suddenly decided they couldn't stand the sight of me.
I knew it. So you want me to get your father to confess by acting sweet?
Perhaps sweet isn't the right word. You might be better off acting bitter and resentful.
All right, I promise I'll try my best. But you have to make a list of everything you know about your father and send them to me so that I can adjust my approach accordingly. Focus on his likes and dislikes.
All right, I can do that. Oh, and one more thing. Could you hide the fact that we live in NYC? Or at least pretend we hate it here? Ever since our vacation home got burglarized, he can't stand the city.
Got it.
Thank you for doing this. I truly appreciate your help.
My pleasure. I'm sure it will be good acting practice.
Good luck.
Good morning, Mr. Short. This is Kendra, Edward's fiancée. I wanted to introduce myself before we met in person. Do you have a moment to talk?
Kendra. Kendra and Edward. Edward and Kendra. Whichever way I look at it, your names seem rather mismatched. Wouldn't you agree?
Would you like me to change my name?
I beg your pardon?
It's a simple and completely legal procedure. Perhaps you could mail me a list of names you approve of and I could pick one out.
You must be joking.
I can assure you I'm being serious.
Are you ready to deal with the repercussions of your reckless statements? What would you do if you really did receive the list?
If your son's name is any indication of your name-picking abilities, I'm willing to give your suggestions a chance. Wealth, fortune, prosperity? What an auspicious name!
Ah, well, looking back at it now, it seems bitterly ironic, doesn't it? What did your parents wish upon you, Kendra?
Knowledge, or so I've been told.
Wealth and knowledge. I must admit I like the sound of that pairing.
So I have your permission to keep my name unchanged after all?
You have an odd sense of humor.
It's an acquired taste. Also, I'm not joking.
Yes, you may keep your name. I'm sure Edward could use some wisdom in his life. Perhaps you could help him see how misguided he is. He must be miserable, missing his old lavish lifestyle. Well, he brought this on himself.
Oh, he is far from being miserable. I'm sure you know as well as we do that material wealth can't buy happiness.
I always assumed there was a positive correlation between the sincerity with which that statement was echoed and the amount of money in one's bank account. Tell me, Kendra, just how sincere are you being right now?
What a roundabout way of inquiring about my net worth. All I can say is that I live in a lovely, spacious apartment in the most expensive city in the world.
Edward told me you lived in Lausanne for most of your life. What prompted you to move to New York?
I wanted to move here for work.
That's right, I heard you were an actress. Could you guide me through your filmography?
Filmography? Do you mean my stage performances?
You are a theater actress?
Well, I suppose I'm more of a musical performer.
Is that so? I'm happy to hear that. I'm quite fond of musicals.
Are you really? What a pleasant surprise!
I am. So, both you and Edward live in NYC?
Yes, we do.
Do you rent or own?
Neither. We're actually living with my parents.
You got engaged while living at your parents' apartment? That can't be right.
Well, we didn't have any other choice. That's all we could afford. It seemed safer this way, too.
I see things haven't changed much since we left.
Did you used to live here?
We used to own a lovely vacation home. We would visit it intermittently throughout the year.
That's right. I remember Edward mentioning that in passing. So, you no longer own it?
No, we sold it right after the second burglary.
You were burglarized twice? I can't say that I'm surprised. I hate to say this, but sometimes I find it hard to feel safe in this city. I mean, I have to lock my umbrella in a safe after each use. Isn't that ludicrous? I'm an honest, law-abiding taxpayer. I even declare the income I find under the couch. Shouldn't they be trying a bit harder for people like us? Sorry, I got a bit too riled up.
Oh no, I understand how you feel. There's nothing I hate more than those greedy vultures. If they're desperate for money, it's their own fault. To think my own son stooped to their level.
Pardon me?
Please disregard that.
I can't possibly do that. Please try to understand that if Edward's hiding something from me, I'd like to know it before we're officially married.
I understand, but I'm not sure I want to be the reason you break off your engagement.
It's that serious?
Yes, unfortunately, it is. My son has done something awful.
Could you please elaborate on that? I'm starting to get worried.
All right. I will tell you on one condition.
What is it?
I'd like you to send me a picture of your engagement ring.
What? Why?
Please, just do it. I'll explain everything after that. What is this?
It's my engagement ring.
It's a ring pop.
I know, isn't that sweet? Neither of us really wears or cares about jewelry. After he proposed, we decided to buy 2 ring pops to commemorate our engagement. They were delicious.
I have no words.
I still don't understand what my ring has to do with whatever Edward has done to incur your wrath. You promised you'd explain it after you saw the photo.
Fine, a promise is a promise. It happened during our family reunion 10 years ago. Back then it was a 2-day celebration. After everyone had gone to sleep, my son stole his grandmother's heirloom engagement ring. It was foolish of me to believe he'd have given it to his fiancée.
No, that can't be right. Edward would never do something like that.
I saw him with my own 2 eyes. He must have thought he was all alone, but I was feeling particularly restless that night and decided to sleep on the sofa. I was half asleep when I saw him enter the room, grab the ring from its display case, and leave. I waited for him to come clean and repent on his own terms, but he acted as though nothing had happened. When I finally had to confront him about it, he acted as though I was insane for thinking he stole something.
It must be a misunderstanding. Your son goes out of his way to return the money he finds on the ground to its owners. There's no way he'd steal from his parents.
I don't know if it's naivete or willful ignorance that's preventing you from seeing him for who he truly is, but I'll neither forget nor forgive him for this.
But you invited him to the reunion. Did you really only invite us to check whether or not his fiancée would be wearing the ring?
Well, we didn't think you'd be wearing it per se, but we figured if he hadn't told you that it was stolen, we could get you to recognize the picture and confess. I thought you were a reasonable person. I guess I was wrong about you.
What are you saying? Even if he had stolen it, don't you think he'd have pawned it long ago? You didn't have to give him false hope.
We reported the ring stolen. We did all we could to find it. If he pawned it, he'd have pawned it in the US. Should I feel sorry for giving him false hope of reclaiming his inheritance? He should be grateful we didn't report him to the police.
His inheritance? So this is why you cut him out of your will? You did it over something you may or may not have seen when you were half asleep?
I've got the information I need. Please let him know he no longer needs to attend the reunion. Goodbye.
Unbelievable. So are you absolutely certain you didn't take it?
Of course. You believe me, don't you, Kendra?
Of course I do. I'm just confused. Could he have made the whole thing up?
Well, we really did lose the ring. And he did report it to the police. But I swear I had nothing to do with it. I was fast asleep in my room all night.
Please, don't take this the wrong way, but could you try and recount the events of that day? Perhaps we can figure out what's going on.
I suppose I could write down everything I remember. Although I'm not even sure it matters anymore.
It could come in handy if you ever need to prove that you were wrongly disinherited.
I don't know. At this point, I don't think I'd take the money even if they pleaded with me to do so.
You can do as you wish, Edward, but I still believe if there's anyone who deserves to get that money, it's you. I'm not saying that just because we are getting married. Our funds will remain separate as we've agreed. I only want you to clear your name and get what's rightfully yours.
I'm not accusing you of wanting to marry me for my potential inheritance, Kendra. We've been through thick and thin together for 7 years. I just don't see a point in going after my parents' money against their wishes.
But you do want to prove your innocence, right?
I suppose that'd be nice.
Well then, let's do this together. Let's get to the bottom of this.
All right, I'll start writing down whatever I can remember.
Yes, please do that. The name of the sleeping aid your father was given is awfully familiar. I heard its side effects are pretty extreme.
They are. But my cousin had been taking it for quite some time. Besides, he only gave him 1 pill to help him fall asleep. Could it have affected him that quickly?
I'm not sure. What if your father wasn't the one who was affected? Would you say you and your cousin are similar in stature?
We are, but that's hardly any proof.
I'm sure your father will investigate the claim himself. All we have to do is alert him to the possibility.
I suppose we could do that.
That's the spirit. We will exonerate you in no time. In the end, the heirloom ring was located in between the floorboards in the guest bedroom Edward's cousin was staying in. It was covered in dirt and missing a few diamonds. His cousin apologized profusely. He swears he has no idea how the ring got under his bed. My husband has yet to accept his parents' apology, but I'm sure he'll come around eventually. After all, money may not be able to buy us happiness, but it will help us buy the lovely townhouse we've been eyeing.